the American Dream, Opportunity and Prosperity for All. The Connecticut Association for Human Services, CAHS, is pleased to welcome you to this forum celebrating our centennial. CAHS's goal today is to begin a continuing dialogue with all of you about the role each of us plays to ensure that everyone in Connecticut, regardless of the color of our skin, the town we live in, or our present economic circumstances, has the opportunity to share in our state's prosperity. This is the American dream, and we need to work together to revive it for the future of our state and for all of us. We're excited to begin this dialogue today with our outstanding speakers discussing reclaiming the American dream. Our moderator is Stephanie Robinson, the president and CEO of the Jamestown Project, a national think tank on democracy and civic engagement. Stephanie is a lecturer at Harvard Law School and a weekly political commentator for the Tom Joyner Morning Show. She's a former member of the CAHS Board of Directors, and we're fortunate she's able to facilitate today's conversation, first with Mayor Cory Booker and Professor Jacob Hacker, and after a brief intermission with Dr. Elsa Nunez, Peter Hurst, and Mayor Pedro Segarra. Stephanie?
Hello, hello, hello to everyone. You guys ready? Excellent, excellent. Well, before I get started, I just want to say happy, happy birthday to CAHS. It's not every day that you turn 100. And really, the work that CAHS has done over these 100 years, I haven't been around for all of that, but it has just been remarkable work on behalf of Connecticut's working families and children, and they deserve a huge round of applause. Jim could not do that himself, but I want to do it. So with that, I'd like for us to begin this afternoon/evening by me introducing to you our two wonderful panelists. We first have the Honorable Mayor Cory A. Booker. Now, the Honorable Mayor Cory A. Booker is mayor of Newark, New Jersey. Mayor Booker is the driving force behind bold change and vision for the city. And he's led the way to set a national standard for urban transformation through increased economic security, crime reduction, the creation of more affordable housing, improved equality in education, and the revitalization of city parks and playgrounds through groundbreaking public-private partnerships. Mayor Cory Booker, can you please come out? Next, I'd like to introduce to you Professor Jacob Hacker. Professor Hacker is a professor of political science at Yale University. He's also the author of many books, but one, The Great Risk Shift, and he's co-author of Winner Take All Politics. Professor Hacker is a leading voice in social welfare and economic opportunity policy and authored the foundation for President Obama's original health care plan. He has identified growing income disparities and the influence of big business on government as a primary cause behind our current economic crisis. We are lucky to have both of these gentlemen with us today. I'll ask that Professor Hacker please join us.
Yes, yes. You don't want an alpha male handshake, do you?
So guys, you know, I know that Jim just introduced me as Stephanie, but just for a moment, if you'll indulge me. My name is actually Nina, and I am from Neptune. Okay, so just refer to me as
Neptune,
Nina.
New Jersey?
No,
or?
no. I didn't even know about New Jersey. I came in to Earth recently, and I'm on my way to America because I've heard tell of this wonderful thing called the American dream. Now, you know, I was thinking, this is a pretty great thing, but how do you get one of these? I mean, how do you go about getting an American dream? And I was also wondering if it's something that you can return or exchange if you don't like it. And then the last thing I was really wondering is, does everyone get to get one of these things if you come to America? So I don't know, you know, Mayor and Professor, and I hope for just this time that we're here on this stage talking to each other, that I can call you Corey and Jacob, if you don't mind.
Jacob prefers his eminence, I think.
I'm learning.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm learning these things. So I'm going to start with you, Corey. Can you just talk to me a little bit about what it is that you guys talk about with this American dream?
Look, fundamental to the idea of America is this idea of equality. And even though our founding documents are saturated in inequality, Native Americans referred to as savages, African Americans referred to as fractions of human beings, women not even referred to at all, the reality is what the spirit of this country has been for so long is this idea that anyone born on this soil can have equal and abundant avenues towards success. And, you know, Langston Hughes said it best in pointing out the crisis. He said, there's this dream in this land with its back against the wall. To save the dream for one, you must save it for all. So what I would say to my friend from Neptune is that we are in a tragic reality where we're experiencing the highest heights of success and defined in the narrowest terms, access to luxury, access to riches beyond the imagination of many human beings even a century ago, but we have these savage inequalities, the disparities that are putting the entire idea of America in peril. And unless we save that dream, unless we address those inequalities, the dream we're fighting for, my dear friend from Neptune, is going to be lost. And that is the critical element. We are a nation in progress, and we have to get the business of our country done.
So equality is the American dream then?
No, absolutely not. Equality of outcome is definitely nothing I seek, but equality of opportunity. That anyone born, you know, we have a curious nation where depending on the zip code in which you're born into, you're going to have a very different experience in terms of the opportunities afforded you. And that starts really not even with education, which often people think about. And again, we have such educational stratification when it comes to the areas in which you live, but really it starts even at the moment of inception, and what kind of prenatal care that you get, what kind of health care access do you have. And those are the challenges we have to start meeting to give every soul born, because and frankly, I don't know what your planet's like, but our greatest natural resource here on this planet, especially in the United States of America, in a knowledge-based global economy, our greatest natural resource is our human beings, is our people. And we're failing to cultivate that resource and give it the necessary nurturing to flourish.
That's ours is Neptune Gold, just by the way.
Okay, Neptune Gold.
Neptune Gold.
I need some of that. I have a budget gap.
So Jacob, do you agree with Corey? Is it this idea of opportunity for all, and sort of, he talked a lot about equality, but are these the sort of cornerstones of what we mean when we talk about American Dream, or what you mean when you talk about American Dream?
Well, I do think equality is at the heart of it. And let me just say, first of all, what an honor it is to be here with you, Nina, and with you, Corey. This is a great organization and a great forum, and I feel a little humbled to be next to Corey after all he's done. But I will say we have a connection, which was when I was a graduate student at Yale, he was a law student at Yale. My wife was also there. And so we met a long time ago, and I've just watched his meteoric rise, and it's been a real pleasure. So, I mean, in some ways, Corey's living the American dream and the American nightmare in some ways, because he's had to go through a lot. He's got to go through a lot to get sitting next to me today. But, you know, to me, the American dream is about equality, as Corey was saying, because all of us, you know, whether we come from another country, whether we're born here, whether we're black or white, or at least in the modern era, we've understood that this is something that is open to everyone. And the reality, as we know, is it's not. But we should understand what the essence of it is. And I think there are two things. One is the idea that your children will have a better life than you do. The idea of progress and advancement. And it's not just material progress, right? It's the idea that society will be stronger and better in the future. And a lot of our history has proven that ideal. You know, we've overcome great challenges in the past. And I think we're facing another great set of challenges today, a lot of them coming back to how our politics is not working very well to represent the dreams and aspirations of Americans. The second aspect of the American dream that Corey sort of touched on is opportunity. And I think the twin aspect of that is security. That having a basic foundation of economic and physical security is essential to feeling like you have the confidence to reach for the American dream, to look toward the future. So to me, that's a really essential part of it. And if you look today, I mean, given the economic downturn, given the high levels of anxiety right now about the future, that feeling of insecurity has crept up from those we know were facing it before into the American middle class. And you know, you can't separate the American dream from this ideal of the middle class. I mean, all of us think we're middle class or want to be middle class. My favorite survey result is there was a survey the New York Times did in the height of the last boom, I think in the sort of mid to late 90s, and they asked people whether or not they thought they were rich. And you know, I think it was 80–90% of people said they were middle class, they weren't rich. But when they were asked, you know, where do you think you'll be in the future, most Americans back then said, you know, we might be able to reach the highest pinnacle on the economic ladder. Mm-hmm. And I think now Americans have maybe more tempered aspirations and ambitions. That kind of ethos of gain has really worn thin. And so there's a lot less looking to the top with anticipation and a lot more looking down with fear. And both of those, I mean, both of those realities, the fact that people are more worried about whether their kids will have a better life than they do, and the fact that they're more concerned about their security and their opportunities, seem to me to be fundamental threats to what it means to be American. And you know, that may be something that you Martians, Neptunians,
yes, let's be very clear here,
would care about too.